Hello, and welcome back to Gods and Monsters. Today's episode concerns Odin. More specifically, how Odin came to be the being that we know today, how he came to possess magical powers and limitless wisdom, and what such gifts cost him. So come, gather round, and let me tell you about Odin and his great sacrifices. Knowledge is power, or at least it is to those who know its worth, and there are none who place as much value upon knowledge as Odin, first among the Aesir and Allfather of Mankind. Though Odin boasts a mighty spear arm, knowledge is his true weapon of choice. Odin's first revelation was that to attain knowledge of the universe and the means by which he may change it, he would have to make a sacrifice. No mere blood offering of animals or slaves was this, for Odin made a sacrifice of himself, to himself. Odin hung himself from the trunk of the world tree, the great Yggdrasil, and the point of a spear was driven deep into his side. The All-Father's suffering was nigh unbearable, even for one as mighty as he. He existed in a state between life and death, unmoving, buffeted by the fierce winds that lash the great tree. Odin's will, however, was unbreakable, and his thirst for knowledge absolute. For 9 long nights, Odin hung there, dying as his lifeblood drained from the wound in his side. It was on that 9th night, when Odin was on the very precipice of death, that understanding came upon him. The magic of the runes was revealed to the Allfather. Odin now knew the language of reality itself, able to understand, influence, and even command the elemental forces that make up the cosmos. This power was originally known only to the 3 Norns, those fate-weaving maidens who tend to the great tree at the Well of Urd in Asgard. The Norns would carve runes into Yggdrasil's trunk, and thus effect change upon the 9 realms. This knowledge was hidden from Odin no longer, and the Allfather now possessed a measure of power over reality that others could only dream of. With the secrets of the runes now revealed to him, Odin's bindings snapped, and he fell, screaming in agony, from the great tree. Though Odin lay, broken and bloody, at the foot of Yggdrasil, he was satisfied, for his sacrifice had yielded exactly what he set out for, and with his newfound knowledge, he possessed power beyond any of his kin. Odin's great sacrifice is also the reason he is venerated as the god of the gallows. Sacrifices to Odin are offered at the end of a noose, hanging between the earth and the heavens, as he did. Animals and men alike are offered to the Allfather, suspended from trees as their life chokes out of them, under his gaze. Despite possessing these new and incredible powers, Odin was not entirely content, for he knew of a being who guarded something incalculably valuable to him, and, to acquire it, a great and perilous journey lay ahead of him. It has been said that wisdom, unlike knowledge, cannot be imparted through any force of effort. One can ever expand their knowledge through diligent research and study, but wisdom comes only from a lifetime of experience. It is for this reason that wisdom is a treasure greater than any other, always out of reach of those who strive for it. Knowledge allows us to comprehend the world and its secrets, to pick apart mundane reality into its constituent pieces, yet wisdom is the only means by which we may truly come to terms with the way of things. Upon understanding this, it should be of no surprise that Odin was willing to pay a price so dear for the quick acquisition of wisdom. In the realm of Jotunheim, that savage land of the giants, there dwells a rather singular being. God or giant, none can quite say for certain, although some say that Bestla, the mother of Odin, was his sister. What we do know is his name, Mimir. Mimir is wise, wiser perhaps than any living being in the cosmos. The gods know this, and thus Mimir serves as a trusted advisor to the Aesir, imparting some of what he has learned unto them should they seek him out. However, the rather literal font of Mimir's wisdom was what he stood guard over, that being his miraculous well. Mimir's well bubbles up from deep within Jotunheim, nourishing one of Yggdrasil's great roots. This well is unlike any well that can be found in the 9 realms, for its water imparts great wisdom unto any that drink it. Among Mimir's possessions was a large horn, known as the Gjallarhorn, which you may already know of, for it would one day become the great hunting horn belonging to Heimdall, the century of the gods. But at this time, the Gjallarhorn served a more prosaic purpose, for every morning Mimir would fill this horn to the brim with the water of his well. He would then drain the horn to the last drop, and thus increase his already prodigious wisdom. Of course, seldom does anything occur without Odin learning about it, even in these early days when the realms were young, and any who know of the Allfather would know that such a well would be simply irresistible to him. And thus did Odin make the perilous journey across Jotunheim, clothed in his robe and hat, disguised as a wanderer, such was his habit. The road was hard, and many times did Odin come close to death, either at the hands of the giants, or competing with the very earth itself, though the Allfather was undeterred, and eventually he found himself standing before Mimir. Odin knew well that a being of such wisdom could not be outsmarted, and so he was forthright. Odin cleared his throat, parched from the days of hard travel.
"Mimir,"
said Odin,
"I have—" "Oh, I know why you have come here, Allfather," said Mimir. "I have anticipated your arrival for quite some time, actually. After all, how could one such as you possibly resist that which I stand guard over?"
Momentarily disarmed, Odin straightened his back and fixed Mimir with his gaze.
"One drink. That is all I ask for."
Mimir looked upon Odin, seeing past his humble garb to the insatiable hunger that lay behind the Allfather's eyes. There would be no denying this request.
"Very well, Allfather. You may have one drink, but this is no gift. A price must be paid. Name it, wise one, and it shall be yours."
Odin spoke with confidence, knowing that there was little in the realms out of his reach, but curious as to what a being such as Mimir could desire. Delicately, Mimir unsheathed a knife which he kept fastened to his belt, proffering the blade to Odin.
"Your eye, Allfather. I have no need for petty trinkets and baubles. The price of the wisdom that you seek must be paid in blood."
Odin did not hesitate in his response. He had journeyed this far already, and he had sacrificed much for power before. He would gladly do so again.
"So be it," said Odin,
and he took the knife from Mimir's outstretched hand, and without even a breath of hesitation, Odin raised the blade to his face and carved one of his eyes free from its socket. The pain was incredible, but the Allfather's resolve was like tempered steel. Holding out his bloody hand, Odin let the eye drop into the well, where it bobbed gently upon the surface of the water and stared sightlessly back at him. With the deed done, Odin turned back to Mimir, who had already brought forth Gjallarhorn. Odin took the vessel and lowered it into the well, letting the horn fill with the cool, clear water. Raising the horn to his lips, Odin drank, and his second revelation hit him like a wave crashing upon the shore. Suddenly, he understood, and in the truest sense of the word, his remaining eye glowed with an inner fire, and infinite horizons stretched before him. Odin was pleased, for now he truly saw, more clearly than he ever had with both eyes. Staggering back from the well, Odin wrapped his cloak around him and departed for Asgard. Armed with the knowledge of how to control the primordial forces that shape the world itself, and now possessing a great wisdom to temper such knowledge, Odin was ready for perhaps the greatest challenge yet faced by the Aesir: war. the first war, the great war of the gods. But that is a tale for next time. I hope you enjoyed this tale. This episode was my first real foray into the more dramatic style of storytelling. There will be more to come, for there are many dramas and tales of gods and monsters in Norse mythology. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you next time.